Developing story that we're on top of. We've learned Connecticut State Representative Comey is in trouble with the law. For more details now, let's head over to Channel 3 Eyewitnesses reporter Marcy Jones is live in the Hartford Police Department. And Marcy, you just confirmed some details.
I did. Good morning. Absolutely. Now, while a lot of information we're still waiting to get confirmed, we have confirmed with Hartford Police that Rep. Comey was arrested last night for an OUI. Now, that's operating under the influence after a crash in Hartford. A representative for the House of Democrats confirmed the 55-year-old from Branford was in an accident and arrested around 6:30 Thursday night. According to Hartford Police, Comey was arrested for operating under the influence. This is not the first time Rep. Comey has received negative attention for situations involving drinking. In June of 2021, Comey was one of several lawmakers who was warned about their behavior at the Capitol after she slurred her words on the House floor. Comey released a statement shortly after the incident, apologizing, saying in part, "I suddenly and unexpectedly began to feel unwell. This was due to several factors, including anxiety, exhaustion, and regrettably, the wine I had with dinner." As soon as we get any more details about that crash, who it involved and what exactly the extent of any injuries that resulted from that, we will bring that to you. But for now, that's the latest. Reporting live in Hartford, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.